Welcome back to another episode of Those Two Dudes. It's that dude, Josh.
That's that dude, Ruben.
Josh, it's Christmas for us, man. We can finally talk about football all the way through, man. This is it. This is why we did this. That's the whole point of why we're doing this.
Yes, sir.
It's
NFL,
great.
College, football,
NFL,
nonstop.
college, Canadian football, you name it. We got it. Man, this is our favorite. This is what we live for. The NFL, college football. Christmas has arrived and it'll be here till January or February. It's fantastic. So, look, guys, we had a heck of a week this past week. Obviously, I think it was week 2 in the college football and then week 1 in the NFL. A bunch of great games. We're going to break down some of our power rankings and our own top 25. But we'll start in the NFL. That was just more recent. That was Sunday. Let's start with the NFL power rankings. We definitely have our top 10. I don't know what Josh's is. He doesn't know what mine are. They're probably a little bit different, but probably very similar. So let's start from 10 to 6. Josh, who do you have from 10 to 6?
All right. Coming in at number 10, I got Buffalo Bills. Coming in at 9, I got the San Francisco 49ers. Number 8, who dat? New Orleans Saints. Number 7, Cleveland Browns. Number 6, the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
How about you? We'll talk about our differences and whatnot. Go ahead and give me your 10.
So very similar. Okay. My number 10, I have a tie, and it's between the Buffalo Bills and the Dallas Cowboys, tied at 10. My number 9 is the San Francisco 49ers. My number 8 is the Pittsburgh Steelers. My number 7 is the New Orleans Saints. And my number 6 is the Arizona Cardinals. So we're good there.
Okay. Only thing I noticed is Cowboys. Man, look, I consider them as well. I left them out. They lost. It wasn't an ugly loss. Obviously, they lost the Super Bowl champs in a close, very entertaining football game. But I gotta start seeing them win some of those kind of games, man. The Cowboys, they remind me of one of my favorite college football teams. Just like they'll be right there in the game, but you just expect them to lose, do something to lose, and they lost. So once they start winning some of those games, I bumped them up into my top 10. But as of now, I just left them short. I just felt there were some other teams that were probably a little bit more deserving. For instance, Buffalo, they lost as well, but they had a great year last year. They lost a close game to another really good team as well. So I felt they were a little bit more deserving of Cowboys. Let's see here. Let's break down my 9. My 9, I got the 49ers at 9.
I had the 49ers at 9 also.
Yeah, so I guess we're kind of probably thinking somewhere along the same lines. Had a bad year last year, but a lot of that had to do with injuries. Garoppolo was out, whatnot. They went to the Super Bowl the year before that. So everybody knows that follows football that's a very talented roster. And they looked good on Sunday. They beat Detroit. I think the final they won by 8, but they were really winning by a lot more than that.
Oh yeah, it was. Detroit came back late, but it was pretty much a whooping.
Yeah, Detroit made a late push, but they put 41 points on the board. So San Francisco looks like they might be back. The Saints, who dat? Number 8. Big question mark was quarterback with Drew Brees retiring, but they look great, and their defense, they shut down the Packers completely. So
that's what I'm more surprised as, their defense and how good they look. So if they can maintain that defense, Jameis just has to be average, and that team will go far. But even that is asking a lot for Jameis Winston.
He just got to be respectable NFL quarterback, and they should.
Yeah.
Number 7, Cleveland also lost a game. Well, they had the win, but then Chiefs. That's all you gotta say, Chiefs.
That's it.
Patrick Mahomes. But they still look good. They're also one of the most talented rosters in the NFL. They lost a close game at Kansas City. So
I'll throw a little spoiler alert. I got the Browns in my top 5. I mean, I think they're the roster is built to win. Their first game of the season was at Kansas City, who's back-to-back Super Bowls. Another close game that they probably should have won, but it's okay. They didn't. It's week one. Dude, this team is built to win. They really are. And I mean,
And then I got
they're not going to go undefeated, but yeah, they're really good.
yeah. I mean, yeah, they look, like you said, they have one of the best rosters. They were playing at the defending AFC champs,
back-to-back AFC champion.
One of the toughest stadiums to play in.
Mm-hmm.
They were winning in the fourth quarter. They had the dub, and then Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
but it looked great. Number 6 is probably my surprise team, Arizona Cardinals. They were 8-8 last year. They did all right. Maybe just another year for Murray will push them over the top. They looked really good against my Tennessee Titans. They crushed us. So,
yeah, I had the Cardinals at 6 also. Like you said, a surprise team because they were 8-8. I think a bigger part there was 2 people that were not necessarily, well, one on the hot seat, Cliff Kingsbury, but another one was like, okay, you got to make the next jump up, which is Kyler Murray. And boy, that showed this game. They whooped up on Tennessee, who's supposed to be a good team. Arizona's defense looks good. Kyler Murray looks good, man. I've seen him, dude. He's got a lot of shades of Michael Vick. I'll tell you that right now, man. He can throw. He's accurate. He's fast. He's quick. People can't even touch him.
Probably more accurate than Vic.
Probably. Yeah. And that's scary, man. That is scary.
Yeah, so that's our 10 through 6. My Titans probably would have been in here had they not gotten destroyed. I mean, we got two great receivers. We got probably the best running back in the NFL. But you know what? We got whooped, and we're nowhere close to this top 10 right now. So
yeah. I'm with you. I mean, I threw the Cowboys in here. I know you said you didn't, but you probably had them right on the outside. I threw the Cowboys in here because, Dak is healthy. Dak, I mean, look, that was the biggest question mark for Dak was him, his health, and the defense. The defense looked fine. I know they gave up a lot of points to Tampa, but, they showed up in some big spots, caused some fumbles there. Dude, Dak is all the way back. He's all the way back, and he is an MVP candidate, and is not a joke, man. So prayers that he can stay healthy this year, but I see big things for the Cowboys this year. I really do. And, I mean, yeah, like we talked about, the Steelers, oh, man, I'm not really big on the Steelers, but this first win in Buffalo, that was a huge win. That was a huge win for them. So I had to throw them in the top 10. Not really a big Steelers fan. And the Saints, I'm not a big Jameis Winston fan, but what they did to the Packers and Aaron Rodgers, they just, I mean, that was embarrassing. And things can go sour real quick for that Packers organization if they don't pick it up here in the next couple weeks with their turmoil they have going on with Aaron Rodgers and management. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we agree on number 6 and the Cardinals. So I'm super excited to see where they go. But look, I have the NFC West as the toughest division in NFL. And I think that's going to carry over to the top 5. So let's talk about the top 5.
Talk about the NFC West here in a second.
Let's do it. Let's talk about it.
Here we go. Here's our top 5, or my top 5 through 1. 5, I got the Seattle Seahawks. Number 4, Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 3, the Los Angeles Rams. And our top 2, no surprise, coming in at number 2 is the Kansas City Chiefs, the AFC champs. And number 1 is your Super Bowl champion, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Dude, we're right on par. And my number 5 is the Cleveland Browns for the same reason that I just mentioned a while ago. My number 4 is the Seattle Seahawks. 3 is the LA Rams. 2 is the Kansas City Chiefs. And 1 is Tampa Bay.
Okay, question. Where do you got Pittsburgh? Did you have them in the top?
Yeah, I have Pittsburgh at number 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
I put them at 4. They had a big win against Buffalo. Buffalo went to the AFC Championship last year. People were expecting a lot from them. Pittsburgh themselves were good last year. They kind of fell off towards the end.
Oh, they fell off big time.
But they still had a solid season last year. And with a huge win coming into week 1 against Buffalo, I thought that was worthy to bump them into the top 5 for the meantime. Seattle, I have it number 5. Great year last year. They got a big dub. They got one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So I'm still I'm rolling with them in my top 5. Number 3, Rams. That's my NFC prediction for coming out of the NFC for the Super Bowl. I got them. Look, I think Stafford's going to push them over the top. I think he's the difference, and because the rest of the roster I really like. But right now, you got Tampa Bay at number 1. They're defending NFL Super Bowl champions. They got everybody coming back this year. They looked good against your Dallas Cowboys. Doesn't look like old man Brady's falling off at all, even though he's like 85. So
Dude, unreal.
Yeah. And then 2, Kansas City with a big win against another really good Cleveland Browns team. Patrick Mahomes did Patrick Mahomes things in the fourth quarter, and they got the big W, so they stay in that number 2 slot. What do you think?
Yeah, so I had the Browns at 5, kind of for the same reasons, I just talked about. I think that roster is built to succeed, and for them to have a close game in week 1 in Kansas City, like they're going to have a great year this year. I really believe it. And then I have Seahawks at 4 and Rams at 3. Look, we have all 4 NFC West teams in our top 9.
That's what I was just about to say.
I mean, that team, it's the best. It's the best division in the NFL, and it's not close. Because and what makes this division so good is all 4 could absolutely make the playoffs. But
is that possible? How many divisions are there? You get what? There's 6. Are they doing 7 playoffs teams?
Yeah, 7.
7. Okay, then that is possible.
Yeah, wow, all 4 could make it. But also, look, we agree the Rams are the 3rd best team in the NFL. I see that's your pick there. Any one of these 4 teams could win the division, and it wouldn't be an entire surprise.
No, not an entire. I'm still.
I mean, yes, I'm with you. I have the Rams.
I have the Cardinals. I'm on the fence a little. They look great against the Titans, but I want to see a little bit consistency from them. Like we said last year, they were 8-8. They got talent. He's an athlete. He can throw. He's accurate. He can run. A little bit more consistency from them. But all the other 3 teams, I definitely could see winning the division. Cardinals, maybe 2. Like you said, not a complete surprise if they did, because of how good they looked specifically on Sunday. But gosh, that division is just ridiculous.
It's so good. And I'm looking at my rankings right now, and I have obviously 3 Rams, Seahawks 4. And that's based off of week 1. But as a whole, if I'm re-ranking them, I have Rams 1, Cardinals 2, Seahawks 3, and 49ers probably tied with the Seahawks. Because my question with the Seahawks is, can they protect Russell Wilson? They gave up 3 sacks again this weekend. That's always been the issue with the Seahawks, and so has their defense, but their defense did really well. Granted, it was against the Colts, but, again, next week they're going against the Titans. So you got to imagine the Seahawks are going to step it up again on D. But, the 49ers are a little bit of a question mark because I don't know how much I trust Jimmy Garoppolo. And they just lost Raheem Mostert for the year. They're starting running back, but they have a backup in Elijah. I think it's Moore or Mitchell. I don't remember his name, but he crushed it
from Louisiana.
Mitchell. Yes, crushed it this week. He killed it this week. So it doesn't look like they're going to miss a beat there on the running back side. Dude, this division is stacked. It's crazy how good this is. But I mean, look, 1 and 2, Tampa Bay, Kansas City. It's obvious these teams aren't going to win. They're not going to lose any more than 2 games this season. So I have Tampa Bay coming out of the NFC. I don't know how the Rams can beat Tampa Bay, which seemingly, it would appear as if the Rams would have to beat Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that does make it tougher. Rams being in the NFC West, because those teams are probably going to beat up on each other a little bit. Tampa Bay's division, not strong.
Not strong.
No. So yeah, there's that. So then that would lead to them probably getting home field advantage. So that does make it tougher. But I'm gonna roll with what I went with a couple months ago when we did our video. So I'm gonna roll with the Rams. But Tampa Bay is they're the real deal, as we know.
Cool. I love it, man. I love it. NFL's back. Love it. It was a heck of a game on Monday Night Football, Raiders and Ravens. Man, love seeing the NFL's back. So from one football league to the other, college football, they got the AP 25 is out. I know we've already a few games deep in, but we finally got
good.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good though, because look, they do these preseason top 25 rankings, and I think what are they going off of? A lot of times it's name brand, it's whatever, and I feel like sometimes teams don't want that. So we waited a couple weeks to come out with our initial top 25. So we kind of got a chance to see all these people play a couple of games. So I think our top 25 may have a little bit more merit, but y'all could be the judge on that.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's dive right in. Josh, tell me. So we'll start same way, backwards on up. Let's start from 25 to 21. Who do you have?
Okay, coming in at number 25, I got the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Okay.
Number 24, I got the TCU Horned Frogs. Number 3, the Wisconsin Badgers. Number 22, the Miami Hurricanes. And number 21, the Nevada Wolfpack.
Okay. I love that's far different from mine.
Yeah, I think this will probably be a little bit more off than our NFL one was.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Right off the bat, I'll tell you, I don't have Miami in my top 25. They got embarrassed by Alabama, rightfully so. And honestly, they should have lost against Appalachian State. So, yeah. So,
in fairness to Miami, App State's a solid football.
Oh, no, they are 100%. But Miami is not a top 25 team.
I think they're right in there in that 25 to 20 range. They got crushed by Bama. Fair enough. But Bama is Bama. They'll do that to almost any team in the nation. So, I think that tells us Miami's not in that top 5 range, that elite range.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really necessarily tell us Miami's not a top 25 team. And I think their win against App State was good enough to keep them in that 20 to 25 range, especially considering they have a lot coming back this year.
Yeah.
So I got them at 22, but I don't hate you for not having them.
Yeah. Okay. So my 25 through 21, I have Michigan at 25. I have UCF at 24. I have UNC, North Carolina at 23. I have BYU at 22. And then I have Arkansas at 21.
Okay. I like it. That's fair. Arkansas with the upset win over UT.
Yeah.
Puts them in.
And it wasn't that it was an upset win. It was that they beat the hell out of Texas. So
and I think my rankings will reflect that here in a bit. You did mention UCF. I don't have them in my top 25.
Yeah.
They do. I got them as my next team out. They're at number 26 for me. So I like that. They beat Boise State, another really good Group 5 team or non-A5 team, whatever you prefer.
Yeah.
So they got a big game against Louisville this week. So I think if they were able to win that, that'll push them in for me, and it would validate.
Where's that game at?
Shoot. You know what? I'm not sure. I think UCF is a 7-point favorite right now.
So it's probably in Central Florida, probably.
Perhaps. I'm not sure. So
okay. Well, that's good. Hey, okay, fair enough. So let's keep moving the list. 20 through 16. Who do you have?
23. Hold up. Before we go there, I do want to mention one thing. Some people might be wondering why I got Nevada in my top 25.
Yes.
I got them at 21. I watched both. Did I watch both? I watched the game against Cal. They beat Cal, and then they whooped the FCS team. So their win against Cal's big. They were a good team last year. They have Carson Strong at quarterback. The dude could launch the football. He's one of the top NFL prospects.
Yeah, we talked about him. Yeah.
I really like that squad. That's why I got them at 20.
Well, hold on real quick though. So still on your top on your 25 through 21, why do you have TCU in there?
So I was deciding between,
because they almost lost this weekend.
I had 4 teams I was deciding for my last 2 spots. It was TCU, North Carolina, UCF, and San Diego State. San Diego State whooped the hell out of Arizona, but they semi-struggled against New Mexico State for a little bit. So, and they weren't great last year. I kept them out. UCF, same thing. They were 6-4 last year. I'm not 100% sold on them.
Yeah.
So I kept them out. North Carolina, look, they got upset by Virginia Tech. People had high expectations for them. I thought they were overranked from the get-go, but they still do have a lot coming back, and I still think they are a solid top 25 team, not necessarily a top 10 team. I kept them at 25, and TCU got two decent. They also beat Cal, the same team Nevada won against. That means Cal's 0-2, but Cal was close in both of those games. I don't think Cal's a terrible team. So I got TCU. They were one of my sleepers in the Big 12. I think they're solid.
Yeah.
So I got TCU at 24.
All right. So 20 through 16, who do you have?
20 through 16, we're going with 20, Florida Gators. Number 19, the UCLA Bruins. Number 18, the Ole Miss Rebels. Number 17, the Iowa State Cyclones. And number 16, the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers.
Woo, that is a far cry difference from mine. Wow.
I thought it might be. Be. But
all right. That's okay. No, I have number 20. I have Auburn. Number 19, I have Arizona State. I like Arizona State. 18, I have Wisconsin. I know they had a tough loss against Penn State, but I mean, I think Penn State's a really good team, and I do think Wisconsin's a good team. 17, I have Iowa State. And at 16, I have Coastal Carolina.
Okay. So we agree on 16, Coastal Carolina. And I think you said 17, you got Iowa State?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so we agree on both of those. I got questions for you on I think you mentioned one of your teams was Arizona State.
At 19, yeah.
Why?
I just like what they've done. I mean, they were in the top 25 to start the year.
For no reason.
Well, no, I think they, I think they're going to have a good year this year. I do. They're 2-0 right now.
They're 2-0. They haven't really played anybody. I think they played UNLV and maybe an FCS team. I'm not sure. And they didn't necessarily. They struggled against UNLV early. They pulled away in the second half, but they didn't look great. They were 2-2 last year. They didn't really play a season. They had some off-season turmoil with some recruiting violations.
And Herm Edwards, yeah.
I'm not sold on them yet. They got a big game against BYU this weekend. If they could win that, I'll put them in my top 25.
Yeah, and obviously this lineup, particularly college football, this will change drastically week by week. Just after week 2, I have them here, right? Because playing BYU, if they win, they're going to jump up. If they lose, they're not going to be in the top 25. And the same goes for BYU because BYU is also in my top 25. So, it works both ways. And this is going to change drastically week by week. But yeah, I have them there. I have Auburn there. I mean,
Auburn, that was my other question. Why is Auburn in there? They haven't beat anybody either.
I mean, dude, I think just early on, it really is just about winning. You want to get some momentum. You want to win these games, especially games that you're supposed to win. I mean, look at Texas, right? They were supposed to beat Arkansas. They didn't. So, dude, I think it's underrated beating the teams that you're supposed to beat. But you have to do that. They've done that. So they're at 20 for me. Obviously, the schedule is going to get a lot harder for Auburn. But, as of week 2, I got them here. But, I mean, it looks like we're pretty similar on 16 and 17. So we have.
So Auburn, look, you say you just got to win the games you play. And there's plenty of teams that won the games they've played.
I mean, yes.
UTSA Roadrunners are 2-0, and they got a nice.
They're not outside. They're not far outside.
No, they're not. They're not far outside mine either. But I'm just making a point. Last year, Auburn went 6-5, so they weren't a top 25 team to end last year. I'm not quite sure why anybody would have them in their top 25 at this point this year. But okay, it's fair enough. They're the Auburn Tigers, but we'll see where they go from here.
War Eagle. Let's go. So let's do 15 to 11. Who do you have?
Okay, 15 through 11. You got your Liberty Flames coming in at 15.
The flag football team.
I don't know why that's funny, but okay.
It's hilarious.
At number 14, you got your Arkansas Razorbacks. Number 13, the Virginia Tech Hokies. Number 12, you got your BYU Cougars. And number 11, you got your Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Okay, so a couple things about yours. I forgot to mention to you, you had UCLA much lower. Why?
Because look, they beat Hawaii, they beat LSU. Two decent wins, but UCLA in recent years hasn't done anything. People are overrating the LSU win. LSU had no business being ranked in the first place because they were 5-5 last year, which means after that loss, they were 5-6 in their last 11 games. So, I mean, it's a solid win. It's a big win against a name brand team, but LSU was overranked. I think it's a quality win. I think UCLA's looked good so far, and that's why I got them coming in at number 19 right now. But to put them into the top 15 because of a overrated LSU team, nah, I'm not there yet. So
that's fine.
If they continue to win, then yes.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Obviously, Liberty is funny. You know, we're not going to discuss the obvious, but I understand your love for community college.
No. Hold on. Let's talk about
because everything you're going to tell me is about last season. So go ahead.
Well, I mean, they're 2-0 this year, and you just made the point.
That's true, and I don't argue that they could have a spot in the top 25, but to have them at 15.
Okay, well, 15 is where I think they should have started at because they brought 20 starters back from last year. So I'm not going to move them down after winning two football games.
Okay.
I do think. Look, I think the rankings should be based on this year primarily. But I think looking back at last year is also key because otherwise, especially this early in the season, how are you going to rank teams if you don't look at last year at all?
Okay.
So look, I think they should have started around 15, 16, somewhere in that ballpark. They got 20 starters coming back. They got one of the best quarterbacks in Malik Willis coming back as well. And they got Hugh Freeze at the helm. So I think they're right now, they should be in the top 15. Look, later on, they have a big game against Ole Miss this season. I think that'll tell us a lot more about them, but I'm not going to bump them down after where they ended last year and where they've started this year. So, I got Liberty right there at 15.
Well, speaking of Hugh Freeze and Ole Miss at number 15, I have Ole Miss. I like Ole Miss. I like them a lot. At number 14, I have Notre Dame. Number 13, I have Virginia Tech. 12, I have UCLA. And at 11, I have Florida.
Woo! Okay. That one jumps off the board at me, the Florida one.
Okay. Look.
They ended last year with 3 straight losses.
I understand.
They haven't looked necessarily great this year. I mean, they're 2-0. They look. I got them at 20.
And I understand, like, you have them at 20. I have them at 11. This is all like we're ranking them with the idea that it is going to change. So because this week they have Alabama. So that's going to change, right? Significantly. It's going to change.
I think the spread on that's like 14.5 or something. Where are you going? You going over or under?
Oh, I'm going over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say Alabama probably wins by maybe 20, 21.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
Maybe 17 if we're low.
Yeah. But yeah, I have Florida at 11. I have Notre Dame at 14. I think Notre Dame is a terrible team. Fortunately for them, they've just played 2 bad teams in Florida State and Toledo.
Toledo's not a bad team.
Okay, but Florida State is a bad team. And they went to overtime with Florida State, who proceeded to lose the following week to Jacksonville State?
Yeah.
Off a
God, did you see that last play?
That ending is incredible. What were they playing? Like cover 0, man to man? Like
I'm not sure how that dude just ran by everybody. But
man to man, final play of the game with 1 safety in the back, and he made probably less than minimal effort to tackle him to lose the game.
I don't know why, but that receiver from Jacksonville State looked like one of the fastest players in the nation on that play. He was just scooting down the field. But anyways, Florida State's not good, and that's unfortunate because I was
That's unfortunate for Notre Dame.
Yeah, I was rooting for them because of Mackenzie Milton, but yeah, they don't look good.
Yeah, so no, I'm not high on Notre Dame. The flip side, I am high on Virginia Tech. Let's see if they can keep that momentum. Clemson. I know Clemson is we obviously have Clemson in our top 10, but I think they could. I said that this could potentially be a dark horse in the ACC. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
You definitely called that. I think we both agreed on that one too.
Yeah.
I think we both said, look, Virginia Tech. What we were talking about them, we were talking about them in Pittsburgh, and we are saying Virginia Tech has the higher ceiling. They have the lower
floor. And I told you I would take that. I would take that all day.
Fair enough. I got them at 13 as well, especially with the big win over North Carolina. So let's see. Oh, and BYU at 12. Look, they beat Utah. Utah was ranked. BYU lost a lot of players, but they did really good last year. That has to be considered. BYU comes back. They beat Utah, the rival, for the first time since I believe 2009. That was a big win. So I got them at 12, but they have a huge game against a team you have ranked right now, Arizona State, this week. That can kind of validate where I have them right now.
That'll validate one of them.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, let's hit our top 10 now.
Top 10, 10-6. Who do you have?
10-6. I got coming in at number 10, the Clemson Tigers. Number 9, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Number 8, the Cincinnati Bearcats. Number 7, the A&M Fighting Aggies, and number 6, the Oklahoma Sooners.
Did you leave out Penn State?
No, they're yet to come.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Okay, that's fair. That's pretty similar to mine. Look, number 10, I have Penn State. Obviously, look, Penn State. Are they playing Ohio State this weekend? Penn State, I thought, has a big game this weekend. I'll have to check. Penn State, I got Penn State at 10. I have Ohio State at 9. I have Clemson at 8. I have Cincinnati at 7. And I have A&M at 6.
A&M at 6? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think we're pretty similar in these 10-6 rankings. I dropped Clemson to 10. They had a close loss against Georgia, who's very good, but they did nothing on offense that game.
Nothing on offense.
They have a new quarterback, so I'm dropping them to 10 right now. Number 9, Ohio State. Look, they lost to a very good Oregon team. I don't know if it's a great Oregon team, but they lost to a very good Oregon team. They got the win against Minnesota. They already got a conference win. That was a solid win. So they're still in my top 10. But look, they have issues on defense. They got to shore up some issues on the defense.
Yeah, and that showed, though. Like you said, that was a good win against Minnesota, and it was. But they struggled. And they gave up a lot of points to Minnesota, and then that carried over to Oregon. Oregon just put a show on them.
Yeah, they have issues. I think those issues are carrying over from last year. They're also working in a new quarterback, so they don't look great right now. I think I'm kind of being friendly to keep them in my top 10 right now. I have them at number 9, and I think you said you have them at number 9 too, right? Ohio State. Right at 9. Ohio State. Yep.
Yeah, so we both have them at 9. I think we just assume they're going to right this ship and probably win out the rest of the games, right?
I don't know. I don't know if I think that. Like I said, if they don't shore up those issues, the Big Ten's a strong enough conference where somebody could sneak up on them and give that another. This is a long season, so
sure, like a Penn State. Yeah,
if they don't shore up some of these issues on defense, I think somebody else, maybe like a Penn State, could sneak up on them. Penn State, you said, has a big game this week. They got a pretty big out of conference game against Auburn this week.
Penn State and Auburn. That's a good game.
Yeah,
that is a good game. Okay, I'll look forward to that one. Okay, well, hey, Ohio State is not the highest Big Ten team that I have ranked, and I'm sure you don't either. So let's jump into the top 5. Who do you have?
All right, 5 through 1, our top 5. Number 5, you got your Penn State Nittany Lions. Number 4, you got the Oregon Ducks. Number 3, you got the Iowa Hawkeyes. Number 2, you got the Georgia Bulldogs. And number 1, you guessed it, the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Where did you have Iowa?
I got them at 3. They got 2 big wins.
I'm sorry, not Iowa. Where did you have Oklahoma?
Number 6.
Okay.
They didn't look pretty against Tulane.
No, they did. They should have lost that game.
The FBS team this week. So
yeah, okay, that's fine.
The top 5 right now.
Okay,
So Iowa, I got them at 3 because they have 2 big wins. They beat a top 10 Iowa State team. They beat Indiana to start the season.
Crushed Indiana.
So yeah, they've earned the top 3 spot right now.
Well deserved Iowa. I have Iowa at number 5. I totally get why you have them ranked. I would too. I get it. I have Iowa at 5. I have Oregon at 4. I was starting to think, oh baby, the Pac-12 was back, and then USC had to go and lose that home game to Stanford and get their coach fired. So
No, I didn't. Oregon leads the Pac-12 hype. I don't even know if I think Oregon's the 4th best team, but as of right now, I think they've earned a top 4 spot.
Oh, 100%.
That's
yeah.
why I have it there. So.
Yeah, no, they've beaten good teams. They have beaten good teams.
Yep.
And obviously the win at Ohio State always accounts for something.
Great win. Win and good win in their other game. So
yeah. I have Oklahoma at 3. Mostly that's just a virtue because everybody else has been losing and they just haven't, like other teams haven't looked good. But I get why you have Iowa ahead of them and Oregon ahead of them, but I have them at 3, it's whatever. And then number 2 and number 1, I mean, those really aren't debatable. It's Georgia and it's Alabama. Georgia, I know the game was close against Clemson, but they dominated Clemson that whole game. They really did. They just couldn't do a whole lot defensively because Clemson has a great defense, but Georgia just dominated on defense. God, they look so good.
Look, I know the other team they played was UAB. UAB is not a great team, but they're supposed to be one of the better, maybe the best Conference USA team, and they beat the dog piss out of them. So, yeah, Georgia's looked really good.
And that was without JT Daniels, their starting quarterback.
Yeah. So, there you go. I got them at 2 right now. And then, obviously, Bama until somebody proves
Alabama, if they win, I don't see them. The only way they're going to get out of the 1 spot is if they lose, right? If they have close games, they're still going to be number 1. I'm not changing that. And same for Georgia. These teams are going to be 1 and 2 all year unless they lose, regardless of what I feel like the scores are. But teams like Oklahoma, Oregon, Iowa, I feel like they still have, stuff to prove to maintain that high position.
I mean, really looking at this, really outside of Bama and Georgia, and more so Bama, it's kind of looking a little bit. After watching the first 2 weeks, it's looking a little wide open.
For sure. Like, again, right outside of Alabama, and Georgia.
More so the recent years, because usually you could tab in. You got your Bama, you got Ohio State, Clemson, like those 3. You just put them in there. But Ohio State, like we mentioned earlier, they're looking shaky. Clemson, they didn't do nothing against Georgia's defense. They got that L. Look, fortunately for them, the ACC is weak. But also, I mean, look, the ACC could be so weak that they might not be able to get in the playoffs, even if they – I think they will, but there's a scenario, I guess, where they might not.
Sure. I get it. I think one team that I was skeptical and putting in the top 10, but I have, even though, again, I'm skeptical, is A&M. They had a real close one against Colorado this past weekend. And then also their starting quarterback got hurt. I don't know how long he's hurt for. I don't know. I don't know about A&M right now.
Yeah, they did. They snuck away with the win.
In
Colorado.
Yeah, so I have them at 6. I was skeptical on that. I could easily flip-flop them with Cincinnati, putting Cincinnati at 6. But look, they're 2-0. It's going to show real quick, though. They're in the SEC, so it's going to show real quick how good this team is.
Speaking of Cincinnati, they got their first big game of the season this year against Indiana this weekend. So we could have a better idea if they're really a top 10 team or not. So they got that game, a bye, and then Notre Dame. So there's that for Cincy.
I hate Notre Dame. I really do. And I hate them because they're just a fraud every single year. And it's part of being an independent.
Well, I mean, look, they win their games. I know they're not ever as good as those top 4 teams. They're a really good team. I always feel like they're overrated as well. But if they're winning and they play a solid schedule, it's hard to keep them out of.
Well, no, right. And that's why I hate about them, because their schedule justifies them being in the top 4 and going to the playoffs. And it's like, well, they meet the criteria. I get it. But then they play Alabama and lose 49-0. And it's like, this is why I didn't want them in the top 4. So
look, yeah. And this team this year is probably not as good as the recent teams, but hey, they snuck away with 2 dubs. So
oh man, against Florida State and Toledo.
In Toledo, they had a last second score. So 2-0, Fighting Irish.
Oh man. All right. Well, hey man, I'm pumped. I love it. Football's back, baby. Let's go. Obviously we'll be doing this week to week. You're going to see how much our power rankings and AP polls change, but it's exciting. It's back. As always, guys, check us out at Those Two Dudes Podcast on Instagram, at Those Two Dudes Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. What else? YouTube. Wow, I'm forgetting YouTube. Of course, it's YouTube.
Yes, and hit that notification bell, please, so that y'all
like and subscribe, share, thumbs up, download. We're on Spotify also. I don't know if I said that. Guys, check us out everywhere, man. Let us know what you want to hear. Let us know what rankings we got wrong. Let us know everything, guys. Love it. Let us know. It's been that dude, Josh.
That's that dude, Ruben.
Push the button, like and subscribe. Let's go, guys.